Okay, in this next portion, we're going to talk a little bit about the surgical guides and splints. These are just kind of tips and tricks that I use when I print these. Obviously, we have to print these with supports, so sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. Surgical guides mainly, I like to use those with, at least 2 millimeters thickness because I really want that rigidity. The resin is rigid anyhow, just to reduce flex, things like that we don't need when we are in surgery, correct? When we're placing implants. Splints, on the other hand, have a little bit different settings, but similar, and they also print a little bit differently as well. With surgical guides, again, I want to keep those about 2 millimeters all the way around. Occlusal, buccal lingual wall thickness, and the teeth offset, I like to use that at 0.1 millimeters, or at least start there. I don't want it to snap on like I would a splint, but I do need some passivity there, but I also don't want it to just fall off. So I do use a little bit more of an increased spacer there at 0.1. And then the sleeve, I like to keep that at 50 microns. Now you can adjust those as you go to fit the printer that you specifically have. You may need to make some adjustments to get those accurate fits that you're looking for. Splints are a little bit different. Obviously, they have a different application. They're meant to be in the mouth for a longer period of time. The overall offsets are about the same. Again, that's variable. You can play with that to adjust the fit to where you like it. I do have a little bit different specifications though. Your buccal lingual wall thicknesses, we can keep it a millimeter and a half. At least with Splint, I like to keep the occlusal surface at 2 millimeters at the bare minimum. A lot of these splints will get, obviously they're getting beat up, right? And they're in the mouth for a long time, going through a lot of parafunction and things like that. So we need that strength and rigidity there to help keep those from fracturing at night. Support angles. Always, always, always read your IFU. Information for use. Every resin is different. Every resin has a different curing time, a different post-processing time, or applications for that. My biggest thing with supporting is, if the material says angle it between 20 and 60 degrees, I may choose to go 45 right off the bat. And you may find that printing at 20 degrees versus 60 degrees, you may have a little bit different fit. So they kind of all meld in together. My biggest thing is consistency. If you choose 45-degree angle, always print at 45-degree angle. If you choose to print completely horizontal or completely vertically, I would recommend to always print at those angles, just for consistency. If I print at 60 degrees and I find that it's a little bit tight and I loosen up the offset and then I turn around and print it horizontally, I'm gonna have a completely different fit. Too many variables, I have no idea where to start from, or where to start back from, I should say. So I've illustrated some pictures here. On the left, we have models, of course. I try to print those horizontally. That is by far the most accurate way to print your models. On the right, I show them vertically. We run into, again, we need some support issues, but also your Z, as it's stacking higher and higher, you have a higher chance of a little bit of warpage there. So I like to keep those horizontal. If you do have to print vertically, I would maybe reach into like more of an ortho thing where I'm just doing a bleach tray or something like that. But accurate models, antagonists, working models, crown and bridge models, those types of things, I always print those horizontally. As you can see with the splints in the center, I just have those at a 45-degree angle. Again, you can play with that and get to see what's best fit for you in your laboratory or your office.